Hello YouTube, I'm David with the David West channel. Well, I'm down here by the railroad tracks again on the walking trail, and today I want to do another video about soda can solar ignition. Now, contrary to popular belief, you cannot polish these things up with anything natural. You cannot polish these things up with anything that would happen to be in your backpack, like a chocolate bar or toothpaste. Now, you might be able to get some kind of a shine on the bottom with chocolate or toothpaste, but it's not going to be enough. It needs to be shined up by metal polish, and I use Blue Magic metal polish. So this is going to be our video today. Soda can solar ignition. I'm going to try punkwood. I'm not sure there's enough heat in that focal point to ignite punkwood, but I know it'll ignite char cloth and charred punkwood. Well, I'm another quarter-mile up the road, and I guess Coors Light is all they drink around here. Look what I just found. I'm gonna take that lid. This has got no telling what's in there, but I am gonna take that lid. And of course, the bigger the solar collector, the more photons that'll be in that focal point. So you want to get the biggest one you can find. That's going to work better right there. All right, you can Google Blue Magic metal polish cream, and you'll see all the different auto parts stores that you can buy it at for about $8. And here's the before. All right, and here's the after. That's a beautiful job right there. And you'll want to use a thin piece of punkwood, something that won't make a shadow on the solar collector too bad, won't block out too much of the sun. So you want to point these directly at the sun, in this direction and in that direction. And you could tell if you just twist the can around a little bit, there it is, it'll get it in the center. So let's go ahead and try it. If we can ignite the punkwood, there's no need to even try char cloth or charred punkwood, because this is bright and reflective, and if we get this to ignite, there's no need to try the other. So if you line everything up just right, it'll work. And that's the small solar collector. Never did show you the difference. There's not a lot of difference in these two, but there is some, because this fits right down inside there. So once again, like I just told you, the bigger the solar collector, the more photons it's going to be concentrated down into that focal point, thereby making it a hotter focal point. So with this little one working, there's really no need to try that one, other than the shape can be off on the bigger one. So let's go ahead and try the bigger one and see if it ignites it any faster, or just to see how it does. You always want to wear shades when doing solar experiments. I'm going to break it off right here and reuse this piece. Constant airflow will get it going quicker than anything, and that's what waving is, constant airflow. All right, let's try the big one now. All right, the sun looks like it's at about that angle, and you can look at the shadow on your hand and tell if it needs to go up or down, and it did need to go up. It needs to go up to about right there. And the sideways looks right by looking at that shadow on my hand. Let's see if we can get ignition faster with this bigger solar collector. And it's all about how quickly you can dial it in. Let's try it over here on this side. If you don't have a flat surface, which I do not have with this punkwood, a lot of times it's hard to see where the focal point is the tightest. So, I think we ought to do an experiment. Now that I have that beer can that has a cap on it, I can use it as a container. So I want to put char cloth in there, charred punkwood, raw punkwood, maybe even a fat wood stick, and an empty bick. Only because if I put a full bick in there, we know that the gas could come out of it. So you would have to know how to utilize an empty bick. So let's do a 6-month experiment. I'm going to take and bury it up in the mulch and come back the 1st of July and see just how much of the shine is gone off the bottom of that can. And to see if the contents stay dry, which they will. That cap that I found has a real good rubber seal on it. So let's go ahead and make a fire, and I'll show you me burying up in this mulch here. But it's to simulate how you could stash all of these fire making kits and put whatever you want to put in them and stash them, and they'll be there if you have to bug out, if you have to run for the hills, if you're using a cabin, or if it's in the back of your car that just broke down. And the only expense you would have, I mean, you could probably make up 1,000 of these containers and put fire rolls in them and put char cloth and put all kinds of stuff in them and stash them away. And the only expense you would have would be the $8 that you paid for the metal polish. I'm going to have to speed this up to double speed as long as it took it to get those flames. All right, y'all. I appreciate you joining me on this one. We'll catch you on the next one.